Hey channel, welcome back to Robert White Photography. I know it's been a while since I've posted some new content here after I split the channels into two, one moto related, one photography related. Well, photography's sort of taken the stepchild role. So I've been a little behind in getting some photography videos out for you guys and growing this channel, but I'm going to start rectifying that soon. As many of you may know, if you follow that other channel, that Robert White Moto channel, Cruiseman and I were on a motorcycle journey to Colorado a couple weeks back. It was a fantastic trip. Beautiful weather. Just took our time, enjoyed the scenery. And you know, the primary purpose of that trip was for Moto Vlogs, so we could talk about the functionality of the bikes and how they performed and the different routes we took, the different sites we saw. Really sort of a motorcycle trip themed event. But out of that, you know, I can't go to Colorado without taking my camera. Out of that came some fantastic photography. Always is fantastic photography when you go to Colorado. So I'm creating one video here of all of the photography that happened on this 7-day trip to Colorado. And it's not so much, you know, a slideshow. It's kind of a slideshow. I'm going to walk you through the beautiful photos, and the photos are going to take main stage here in this video. But I'm also going to put my settings so you can learn a little as we go. You can learn what my settings were for each shot. And we took I took quite a bit of video while I was there, specifically geared towards this channel, talking about how I was framing up the shot or what I was doing at the time. So there's a little bit of that too, a little bit of tutorial, but mostly beautiful photography. Now, normally I'm heading off to Colorado in a couple of weekends from now, last few days of September, first few days of October, when all the aspens are turning beautiful yellow. Oh my gosh, it is my favorite time of the year up there. But because we took this motorcycle trip a couple of weeks ago, I won't be going up there this year during fall color change, although you could start to see a little bit of it, you know, a couple weeks ago. But there won't be much of that in these photos, but the photos are stunning nonetheless. It's just a beautiful area up there. So we're going to focus on what we did see. I'm going to take you along and give you some tips, and I hope you enjoy just the majesty of that state and all it has to offer. So sit back, relax, and join me for this photo trip. On our first full day in Colorado, we tackled the $1 Million Highway. This is a stretch of highway that runs north and south between Silverton, Colorado and Telluride, Colorado. And look at these drop-offs. No guardrails. This road is not for the faint of heart. But boy, did we have great weather. Just look at this scenery. We're on our way to Silverton right now. We will drive through Silverton and head to another mountain pass called Molas Pass, where we will get to the summit and see forever. And when we stop there, I'll show you how to take a pano. Hey channel, welcome back. Today we're in Colorado atop Molas Pass summit. The observation area here, very popular with photographers. I'm going to attempt to get a pano here, as I've done many times in the past, most of the time in the fall, a lot of times in the winter, sort of early fall here, so we don't have any yellow aspens, but still, look at this site. Is this not beautiful? Well, let's get our pano going. All right, channel, one thing Thing to keep in mind, one of the first things you do when you're taking a panoramic shot is make sure your tripod is good and level. So we're going to do that.
Gesture controller's not working either.
Alright, right about there. The bubble says my tripod's level. Let's get the camera going. Okay, I'm using my Hype carbon fiber tripod today. It's a light travel tripod. I've got my Canon R5 digital 45 megapixel camera going. And I've brought my 24 to 105 lens with me today for this panoramic shot. Now I'm going to set it vertically to take this shot, take a series of vertical shots rather than horizontally like this. It's going to give me more frames, but it's also going to give me a photo I can blow up and put on the side of a building. So let's get that set up. Alright, let me show you what I got going on in the back of the screen here. It's important not to rely on your visual sense of level because it gets thrown off here in the mountains. The mountains aren't level, the terrain's not level. You want to make sure that you're using an actual digital level, which is on the back of my screen here. Just one quick note, guys, you want to stay in manual mode, fully manual, because you don't want the camera adjusting the white balance for you, and it will have a tendency to do that. Makes it very difficult to mash up in post-processing. So keep it in all manual, that way you have complete control over everything. And I am going to get my focusing point right in the middle, but you'll see the digital level there, the green bars. Can you see that? Yeah, so that shows me I'm level, and if your tripod's level, as you're panning around, those green bars stay green, they don't turn red, so you know you're level throughout all of your shot. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get back at where I think is a little bit too far to the left, because you want to leave yourself some cropping room with a panoramic shot. I'm set at f11, so I have no issues with depth of field. I'm at 1/125th of a second, so that I don't have to worry about shutter speed because I'm on a tripod here, and that 1/125th of a second gives me what I think is the right exposure. It looks a little dark in the shadows, but I can always lift the shadows a lot easier than I can bring down those highlights in those clouds. So that's what I'm shooting at here. ISO 100, all manual, ISO 100, f11, 1/125th of a second. I'm going to take the first shot, and I always like to put my hand in front of the screen on the first shot. I'm going to set a 2-second timer so I eliminate any camera shake. I set my hand in front of the screen so I know where it started when I'm doing post-processing later on. And then I will move 1/3 or 2/3 each frame, 2/3, overlapping by 1/3 each shot I take. So let me set the timer on this to 2-second timer. Right here, 2 seconds. All right, let me focus. Pretty sure I'm in focus. All right, I'm going to hit the shutter button and take this first shot with my hand in front. Just like that. Now I know where it starts. When I'm doing post-processing, I know where the first frame is. All right, now let's take the first shot without the hand. All right, took the first shot. Now I'm using my grids here on the back of the screen to know where that shot was placed, and I'm going to move 2/3 into the grid to the right and take the next photo. So I'm picturing where that right third line is, and I'm going to move the left third over to it. Just like that. Now I'm going to take my next shot. 2-second timer, hit the shutter, I can get my hand off. No shake. There we go, that's the next. Now I'm going to move 1/3 again. Again, my level is still green, so I know I'm level. Here we go. Actuate the shutter, 2 seconds. There we go. Now I'm going to take the rest of these shots, guys, and if it's any good, here's the photo.
Shouldn't
the great pano opportunity on top of Molas Pass, we head back towards Silverton, and we see an Indian along the way. Once in Silverton, you'll see we get a chance to see the Silverton Durango train pull into the station. What a treat. If you haven't ridden the Silverton Durango train and you're in the area, it's something you need to do. It's a pretty fantastic train ride. While not as much as previous years, we did see some wildlife on this trip. I spent the rest of this day chasing waterfalls. You guys join me for some of my favorites.
Alright channel, we're here at Cascade Falls in Telluride, Colorado. I brought my Canon R5 with me and my very wide open 15 to 35 2.8 lens because it's pretty dark in there. So what I've had to do is, in order to freeze the water, I had to set my shutter speed pretty fast, 500th of a second, 600th of a second. But I put it on auto ISO because this camera is very capable of taking photos at very clean photos at 4,000, 5,000 ISO. So if any of these turned out any good, here's the pictures and the video. my first shot I want to freeze the water. So I'm going to have a pretty fast shutter speed and just let the ISO adjust as necessary. Now I'd slow it down and get some silky smooth water, but I don't have my tripod here, so handheld movement wouldn't be good for a shot like that. But if that were the case, I would put it on the tripod, I'd set the shutter speed for half a second, maybe 1 second, might even have to use a neutral density, the 3-stop neutral density filter, just to cut down the light, and leave the shutter open, and it would produce a silky smooth waterfall. But I don't have my tripod with me, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna take a few more. This is cool. All right, here's that shot. And this is Cascade Falls. Now we're in the time of year where it's not flowing very heavy because the snow has long since melted, so that's mostly just rain runoff. But when it's during the snow melt time of year, that entire cavern up there, that entire valley is just filled with water coming over that edge. Cascade Falls, Telluride, Colorado. Channel. Here we are at a local waterfall near Telluride, Colorado. I'm gonna set up my tripod and get a shot of this. It's a beautiful waterfall that goes down forever, but I can't get down to the full waterfall. So we're just gonna have to shoot this part all by itself. I'm gonna get a shot with a really fast shutter speed to stop motion on the water. And then I'm gonna go for a slower shutter speed and see. I'm gonna put it on the tripod, see if we can't smooth out that water and see what we get. Let's give it a try. I took the fast shutter speed at 1/1000th of a second. Here's that photo. And then I slowed the shutter speed way down and it got way bright. So I had to put on a 6-stop neutral density filter. And then I went even slower, a 4-second shutter, and I had to put on a 10-stop neutral density filter. This is so cool, as long as I don't fall. All right, here's those slow shutter speed, smooth water photos. Take a look.
The next day we took our cameras to beautiful Telluride, Colorado.
Doesn't get much better than tacos and coffee. Having for lunch today.
This is crispy salmon fish tacos, and I'm about to kill it.
And I'm gonna have this chicken Caesar salad.
It looks damn good too. Wow.
It does look good. It ought to for $25.
Yeah. Okay, channel. This time we're at an scenic overlook here, looking at the Sneffels mountain range in outside of Ouray, Colorado. We're going to take a shot of these bikes and those mountains. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, in this particular scene, we got a very high dynamic range. We've got a lot of brights in this foreground. We've got some darks in the trees back there, especially when the shadow from the clouds is on it. And then we have dark mountains in the background and very light clouds. So you've got a lot of exposure issues going on here. So what I'm going to do with my camera is I'm going to set the auto exposure bracketing. What that's going to do is it's going to take 3 separate photos in succession really quick. It's going to take a normal photo, it's going to take a one-stop darkened photo, and a one-stop lightened photo. We'll take all 3 of those photos in post-processing and merge them into a high dynamic range photo. It'll keep those shadows where you can see them. It'll keep the highlights from being blown out. So let's do that next. I'm going to get down a little lower. Let me bring you guys a little lower too. Y'all can get down here with me. All right, here we go. Gonna get the horizon level in my screen. That means the bars are green. I'm gonna focus halfway through, which means right at that fence, maybe even to the background behind that fence. There we go. Then I'm gonna take the shot. Listen for the 3 clicks. Ready, set, go. There you go. Click, click, click. Just that fast. I have the shutter not set for single shooting, but for high-speed multiple shooting. That's why it took 3 of them in a row right quick. Otherwise, I'd have to click the shutter button 3 times if I wanted the 3 different exposures. Alright, channel. I am out here on the top of the amphitheater in Telluride, Colorado, about to set up a night shot, long exposure, where we get some car trails, we get the city, we might get some stars. Let's see what we can come up with. Alright, I've set the shutter speed for 30 seconds. We're going to start out with no filters and see what we get with 30 seconds. Okay, so that was a little bit too bright. The lights in the city came out too bright for a 30-second exposure, but I want at least 30 seconds so I can get long car trails. So to compromise, to fix that problem, I'm going to put on first a 3-stop neutral density filter, and let's see what 30 seconds gives us with that. It's important, however, to make sure and turn off image stabilization and autofocus and put everything on manual. Okay, so that nothing changes once you've got it set. So now I need to focus in. That's one thing I didn't do yet, was focus in. So let me do that. Alright, I think that's going to work. Set it for 30 seconds. Got a 3-stop filter on it. Got some nice car trails, and I got the city. Now I'm going to take off all the filters and see what kind of star photography I can capture out here in the pitch dark. Alright, I think I captured a couple of good shots. There's still a lot of city light pollution out here when you're trying to photograph the stars, so it's a little bit difficult. Let's pack it in and get it in the computer and see what we got tonight. Thanks for joining me out on this cold, dark night channel. Once I returned to the house, I realized it's far away from the light pollution of the city. So I decided to get out my tripod and camera and set it on the deck and point it straight up and see what kind of star photography I could get. And to my surprise, the Milky Way came to play. Check it out. Finally, in this video, we're going to wrap up what I captured at the beautiful, stunning Black Canyon of the Gunnison, starting with this lovely flower, but stay tuned for the rest. Alright, channel, a little out of breath, but today I'm at the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. This is an amazing canyon with walls of stone. Some parts of the stone, some types of rock, are 1.8 billion years old. This canyon is the narrowest and steepest canyon in North America. There's a river down there that is continuing to carve this canyon. It carves it at a rate of 1 inch every 100 years. And of course the canyon walls are marbled with this, yeah, I'm going to butcher the name, but I'm going to call it pink granite amongst the black lava stone. And the hardness is incredible. The hardness is unimaginable. That's why it's so steep and why it takes so long for the water to carve just 1 inch. Some amazing, amazing views here. Let me show you a few of the photos and a few of the views, some of which I'm glad I had a long selfie stick because I wasn't getting anywhere close to that. Check it out.